Hello, I'm Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, the host of Nifty Business, where we highlight NFTs and explore Web 3.0 as we move from pure speculation to creating real-world value. If you're listening to this, we probably survived the merge. No, seriously. Assuming that things went to plan as scheduled, the Ethereum merge should have taken place already. But considering this is Web3, anything can possibly go wrong. We have been drifting away as far as when this merge is going to take place for over 2 years now. It seems like it was always right around the corner. So now that it feels like it is really right around the corner, assuming that by the time you're listening to this, it really did happen, we've gotten to that corner, but we never know. So hopefully this is going to be my last merge reference as far as what's going to happen, how we're going to get through this thing, because it should have already happened. So let's just dive into some interesting things related to this in case you missed episode 302. When I go through some FAQs and all of that, there's a lot more updates and certain things that I just want to highlight today, and then we can move on from this topic. So this is actually the second time I'm recording this episode because I did a whole thing about 2-3 hours to go before the merge, and guess what happened? When I was transferring it to my computer, I deleted it. So as far as technology goes, we can definitely blow things up as far as anything can go. So hopefully this merge goes way smoother than it was transferring my episode from my recording device to my computer. So I find it very fitting. But you know, it's pretty funny because I had this whole sketch lined out of how I was basically going to speak about the Y2K comparison. And I even made that reference in that episode 302 when I was talking about the merger and all of that. But then I was listening to NFT 365, which is hosted by Brian Fanzo. I'm a big fan of that, and he beat me to making that comparison as far as the Y2K. And if you're not familiar, Y2K is when the computers rolled over to 2000s, and we thought all sorts of chaos was going to happen because of the digits, right? Before 2000, we used to have a 2-digit year, so 93, 94, and so forth, going up to 99. And all sorts of chaos was supposed to happen when it went to 00. Everything was supposed to be erased, and of course, that did not happen. So I like to joke and say, I am a Y2K survivor, so I don't really scare easy. So as far as all the chaos going on, as far as the ETH merge and the skies falling, all that stuff, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I survived Y2K. I am good to go. So as far as Brian Fanzo making that reference a couple days ago, it is pretty funny to me that I was beat to the punchline. And I often joke too that as far as being a daily NFT podcaster, he also beat me to the line about 3 days. So hey, no hard feelings there. Absolutely support everything that he is doing. If you're not familiar with the Mint 365 project, he is minting an NFT every single day for 365 days. So that is absolutely crazy to me. So hats off to you. You're a better man than I am because minting just drives my anxiety up. So the fact that you can do that every day, that is amazing. And as far as being an NFT podcaster as well, 365 days of the year, that too is awesome because there is so much crazy information. People are just pulling things out of their hat and just making things up to have a big Twitter space or whatever it is, spreading misinformation. So to have somebody else willing to do some research, get proper information out, that is just really cool to see. So great things there. But as far as Y2K, the reason why I made that reference is because there is so much. People are saying that you're going to need to do all of these crazy things to prepare and get ready for this merger. But guess what? Ethereum.com or Ethereum.org, I should say, their official foundation site, says basically sit tight. There's nothing to do. Listen to episode 302 if you really want to hear all that. But guess what? By the time you're listening to this, it should have already happened and everything went smooth. So if you did not make any preparations or anything of that nature, guess what? You didn't have to. So despite what anyone says, or maybe if you see anyone trying to DM you, convince you otherwise, well, it's probably a fraud. There's going to be people saying all sorts of crazy things, saying do this, do that. So just keep an eye open. There's not going to be any kind of a separate token that you need to do, or anything that you have to do is sending your seed phrase and transferring things to different wallets. No, none of that. People are going to get creative during all of this because this is just an unsure time. This is the very first time Ethereum has ever done a merger. None of us have been through that. So in the chaos, in the confusion, there's going to be some people that try to take advantage of others, right? So during all of this, I know this is something that has been talked about so much, but guess what they're actually having right now? And I thought this was the coolest thing ever. And it was very disappointing to me to see that I deleted. They're actually having a merge watch party going on right now as we speak, or as I'm recording this, as I should say, because as this leads up, this is one of the major events. So, of course, all of these different parties, such as Bankless and Ethereum Foundation on their official channel, are involved in this, and the sponsors and all sorts of things. So this is official thing, and they're just sitting back, sitting tight, and they're not doing anything either. This is not something that you have to prepare for, move your tokens and your NFTs around. No. So everyone's doing this Ethereum watch party, and I think it's very cool. They have easy listening music. There is commentary. There is guest speakers. There's nerds talking about all of this stuff. When I say nerds, I say that with all respect as a term of endearment, because I consider myself to be a nerd as well. I am nerding about this subject, this topic, NFTs, Web3. So with that said, I thought it was just very cool that they have all these insider Web3 jokes and all these things that we understand as people that are in the culture, that we are here. And they're doing all these memes. Of course, I mean, it's just very Web3 event, right? What other way could you do something like this? This major event in crypto, this merger, and this is what's going to happen. They're having this space. And the best part about it is they have easy listening music between speakers, right? You can just sit there, you can vibe out. There's a countdown clock going. There's little emojis and GIFs and memes popping up on screen. It is just a really cool time. So with that said, by the time you're listening to this, all of that should be over. Everything should have gone well. And be wary of anyone that tells you otherwise. So as far as all the big parties that have to really prepare themselves for this, OpenSea, DeFi, stablecoins, and all of that, well, they've all agreed that they're going to go with this merged network, and they're not going to support any kind of fork splitting off, which basically means that rogue miners and validators that might try to continue the chain as is might try to support this and try to have two versions of Ethereum, because there's actually Ethereum Classic, and then there's the Ethereum that we're currently running on, which is where a fork took place. And I know that is a outdated topic and what have you, but long story short, there was a huge fraud that happened with the original DAO, the DAO. And as a result, there is Ethereum, which we're running on right now, where that fraud did not take place, and Ethereum Classic is where that fraud did take place. And technically really wasn't a fraud because the smart contract did what it was supposed to do. However, it was a major glitch, lots of loss, and that is why there is Ethereum Classic and there's Ethereum. Well, in case of the event that there is a split off and then there's a Ethereum proof of work continuing as it was, and then there's this new Ethereum on the merge network, well, guess what? OpenSea, DeFi, stablecoins, and all that, they're going to go with the people that basically sat back, did absolutely nothing, and that whole transfer, energy efficient, everything went place. And so you have nothing to worry about. Anyone that tells you otherwise, saying that, no, you have to hop on another network, you have to do this, swap coins here or there. No, do not do that. So if you want any kind of official news, ethereum.org is the official foundation website. Or go to the Twitter page at Ethereum. That's it. Those are the foundation pages. And as far as all of the information that they're putting out, it resembles nothing like those influencers, those big spaces, or anything of that nature. And they say, just sit tight. We got this handled. And all the big platforms, all the big projects, everything, the ones that actually did their homework, which is just simply 5 minutes of research, or listening to episode 302 of this podcast, you can see that you just have to sit back, right? So this is our Y2K moment. Hopefully nothing went wrong. Everything is smooth. And if this is the first time you're hearing about the merger, awesome. It already happened. And if everything's working smoothly, then you don't even have to worry about it. You did exactly what you're supposed to do. So I'd love to know, was this merger everything that you hoped for? Was it a glorious occasion as advertised? Please feel free to reach out to me at Tropic Vibes on Twitter. But guess what? I'm not going to leave you hanging just with this episode all about the merger that really took place, and probably it already happened. And that's really old news at this point, by a couple hours or so, or maybe it's currently going down when I release this, who knows. But I will have something for you later today that is another topic, completely has nothing to do with the merger whatsoever, another episode that I had recorded. But guess what? If you noticed, last week I was a episode short. Normally I have 7 episodes. I do this every single day. However, I got food poisoning last week, only had 6 episodes. So today is a double day. You're going to get this merger episode, and then later you're going to get an episode that I've already recorded. But as usual, I want to thank you for taking time to listen to this and going through this glorious merger with me as we're learning and building Web3. So until next time, later. The Nifty Business Arrow is not investment advice. It provides insights and information within the space. As with anything, please do your own research before making a decision whether you're making an investment or a purchase.